So I was doing my normal Monday preparations where I get together all of my stuff from my videos and then I go and check the mail to see if I got any new releases or any new fragrances in. And one of my moderators, Newt, thank you to Newt, I knew he was sending this to me, and that's the reason I didn't buy a full bottle, and we're going to see if I was wrong or right in not doing that. But today we're going to be doing my first impressions on Paco Rabanne's Invictus Parfum, a brand new release here in 2024. So without further ado, let's get it. What's going on, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud. Thank you guys so much for joining me for yet another first impression of a brand new release here in 2024. If you are not familiar with my channel, what I do is I do a first impression where I do the opening 5 minutes and then I come back after about 35 minutes or so for the other half of the video to do a first impression. And then after about a week or two, I come back and let you know my full thoughts on the fragrance, and that's what we're doing today. Before we get into it, if you're not already, make sure to subscribe, obviously, if you like my content. And then also, everybody else, make sure to hit that like button, put me on the algorithm, takes a second. Comment below, let me know if you've tried this, if you want to try it, what you think of the fragrance, or if you are not a fan of Invictus at all. Well, I'm going to go through and I'm going to see here today if I was right or wrong in not buying a bottle of this off the top. I'm pretty sure I know which answer that's going to be. So far, I've heard some rumblings out there that it was kind of like Invictus, Invictus Aqua, Invictus Legend, it was soapy, blah, 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 blah. But today, I'm going to be telling you my thoughts on my first impressions of, again, thank you to Newt, it is Paco Rabanne's Invictus Parfum. You pretty much can't see that, but it's Invictus Parfum. So, as far as the Invictus line, I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, it smells great. The original Invictus I owned and I gave to one of my family members. The Invictus Platinum from 2 years ago. I had a 10 milliliter decant and I really liked it, and so I'm going to buy a bottle. It's probably my favorite Invictus to this date. I had Invictus Aqua 2016, went through a bottle, never rebought. Same exact thing with Legend. I had a bottle, it was a smaller bottle, and then I went through it, never rebought it. And then both Invictus Victories and Victory Elixir, they were nice. They're the more heavier, darker, winterized fragrances. I just never really got into wearing them too much, so I decided to sell them both last year. And so right now I currently own 0 Invictuses because there's a lot of other fragrances in that DNA, and while it's still a nice DNA, there's just so many other things out there right now that I like a little bit better. Again, I do like Platinum a lot though. So just want to make sure my hand is clean so that I can spray this on. And let's go. Let's prime the atomizer, and there we go. And let's see what we got with Invictus Parfum. That smells exactly like I thought it would. Yep. So whenever you have a mainstream designer, especially one that makes a lot of sweet fragrances, Invictus, Paco Rabanne, they make a lot of fragrances. Like, I knew whenever they came out with a parfum that this was going to be that DNA, the Invictus DNA, which is that kind of bubblegum sweet marine style fragrance. And then it was just going to have a twist to it and just be either stronger or longer lasting or a bit of both. I find this to be a little bit closer to Invictus Legend than the original Invictus, but honestly, Invictus Legend, out of all of the other fragrances, was the closest to the original DNA. I don't see the resemblance to Invictus Aqua here, which a lot of people said. I think that's a little bit more on the aquatic side, but yeah, this is nice. What it's doing is, so there's a lot of lavender. It's an aromatic lavender. There's definitely that bubblegum sweetness that comes through from that kind of sea note marine quality that you get mixed together with that lavender, a little bit of a violet-y tone. And then it smells like some pink pepper to bring a little bit of a nice nuanced sweetened spiciness. Yeah, and so what they're doing is they're toning down this sweetness. So the sweetness from the original Invictus is still there, but they're toning it down just a bit, and they're replacing what they're toning down with this nice warm soapiness, which I'm guessing is coming from that aromatic lavender. And there might be soap in this, like actual soap. I think I remember seeing the note breakdown for this, and I think there was soap in it, so that would make sense as well. There's not ginger. It doesn't smell like there's any kind of ginger in this. There's a little bit of a green spice to it, but overall, I mean, I'm not going to say that this is going to be something that I would have liked to pick up at 120, 140 bucks, whatever it was. As far as the bottle, I already put the bottle there, but I'll put it up there so you can see the full size. It is the coolest looking of all the bottles. It's kind of like a mainstream futuristic look on the new age bottle, that trophy looking bottle. And apparently it has an R on the cap, which the other ones didn't. If I can find a picture of that, I'll also put it up there. But yeah, the bottle looks really cool. So honestly, in this first 5 minutes, really what it reminds me of is a mix between Invictus and Invictus Legend, kind of in that realm. So I'm just going to say it's going to have that Invictus DNA, slightly toned down sweetness. It's still sweet, but slightly toned down bubblegum sweetness, that aromatic lavender and violet mixture, a little bit of a pink pepper, again, sweet and spicy nuance, and then on top of it, you get a nice warm soapiness. So it's like a soapy version of Invictus, just a little bit less sweet. It's a little bit potent here. It's definitely pushing out. It's exactly what I expected it to be. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys on hold for about 30 to 35 minutes, even though I know where this is probably going to go. And then I'm going to come back, let you guys know a little bit about the dry down. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we are back, and just as I thought, it hasn't changed too drastically. We are talking about this, again, sent by Newt. So thank you to Newt, one of my moderators. It is Invictus Parfum, brand new release that came out about 3 weeks ago on their website. It's not worth the price. Is it redundant? I know a lot of people are going to ask. It's redundant if you want something that is different from the rest of the line, because this smells like a soapier, slightly muskier version of the original and Invictus Legend kind of mixed together. Because Invictus Legend was just honestly kind of like a smoother, more modern version of the original. And so it's kind of doing closer to Invictus Legend, just toning down that sweetness a bit, smoothing it out, and adding a warm soap on top. So is this better than the other two? Yes. I think that this is better than the original. I think this is better than Invictus Legend, for sure. So if you like those two, you're going to like this. It's still youthful. It's a little bit more mature than the other two, but you're still looking at probably like 15 to 30 is the average age range that they're probably looking for this fragrance. As you get to the dry down. So the opening again is a soapy Invictus Legend. That's the way that I'm looking at it. It's just what it is. It's bubblegum sweetness. It has an aromatic lavender, and then it has this soapiness on top and a slight musky tone. As you get to the dry down, you get a little bit of that sweetness toning down as a little bit more of this soap starts to pull in. I did check the note breakdown. There is a warm soapiness that comes in, and it's from, what was it? I wrote it down. It's just soap. So there is soap. There is a soapiness that comes through, and it's just from soap. There's soap in the name. But as you start to work your way further into the fragrance, a little bit of that sweetness dissipates, a little bit more of that soapiness comes through from the soap, and then the aromatic lavender. The aromatic lavender sticks throughout the entire fragrance, and you still have that sweetness. It's still Invictus and still Invictus Legend. And if I'm just nitpicking, then as you get further in, you get more musk, which is just providing a background nuance to the entire fragrance. And then you get a slight creamy woodiness. That is about it. It has a slight powdery tinge underneath it, but this fragrance at its core is just an aromatic lavender mixed with soap, and it's that bubblegum sweet Invictus style, just toned down, and that toned down part is replaced with the soapiness. As you get to the dry down, again, a little bit of a woodiness. Smells like a sandalwood or a cedar or something like that. They mix those two, like a little bit of a warm woods. It's a good fragrance. Definitely the better version, if not the best one in the line. I still think I like Platinum better. But as far as like the ones this is compared to, the original Invictus Legend, this is going to be the best of that world. So if you're interested in that type of fragrance, I think you should definitely give this a shot, but I don't think you should give it a shot at retail price of $140. I think that this is going to be on discounters probably in the next 2 months, and it'll probably be between 60 to 80 bucks. And at that price point, I'd pick it up just because the bottle looks cool and it smells nice. Of the bubblegum sweet style fragrances out there, this has a little bit more of a maturity from that soap, and so I think it would be a nice addition to a collection. It still has a lot of redundancies to it, so make up your mind when it comes to that. But Invictus Parfum smells nice. If you're a high school guy, or if you're a college guy, this is great. If you're somebody outside of college and you just want something playful to wear while you're going out running errands, that's what this is for. It's more going to be a transitional style fragrance, like a transitional season fragrance, so spring, fall. I wouldn't think that you should wear this in the summer, but I mean, you could really wear it all year round. It's that style of fragrance like Invictus. It's kind of like a sweet, fresh fragrance. Overall, it's okay. I mean, it's probably, I'd give it like an average of like a 7 to a 7.5. I'm not going to give it any higher than that because it's just nothing mind-blowing. It's nothing different. Maybe if I only had 2 or 3 fragrances in my collection, then I would say that this might be like an 8. For somebody who's new, this is going to be a nice fragrance. But for somebody who has a collection that borders 20, 30, 40, 50, even the hundreds, which I know a lot of you guys who watch me do, then you're not going to want to buy this fragrance. You're going to want to try it out first, which it'll be in Macy's if it isn't already within the next month. So yeah, that is my thoughts on it. That is Invictus Parfum. I will be back in about 7 to 10 days to let you guys know my full thoughts after getting a few more wears and emptying out this decant. Again, thank you to Newt, and thank you to all you guys who are watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with another one. Peace out.